Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Grubbly. Today's video is going to be about Path of Exile 1, and with the new update coming for 3.27, I wanted to go over some of the trans gems that I think are going to be popular that are worth farming in lab if that's what you want to do for currency. This is the strat that I'm planning on focusing at League Start. I'm going to start by farming Lab 3 and just get a bunch of currency that way, not have to worry about the minus 30% from Act 10 Katava, and maybe bounce over to Heist also when I'm getting bored. But that, when I get powerful enough, go to 4th Lab. I believe you can do that when your character has not completed the campaign, but it's been a while since I tried. But either way, I know Lab 3 is a fine farm, and you can do it on campaign level gear, so it should be a good way to get some currency early. And there are a number of trans gems that are in the meta this league. I'm going to start with just go in order as they have them here. We'll go red, green, and then blues at the bottom, I think. So just looking through, I know Animate Guardian of Smiting was a popular one, and minions have been pretty popular. Specifically, people are really looking more at golems, but I think the golems are mostly just the base gems, not trans gems. So that's one. There was a Bladestorm gem, I think it was Bladestorm in the patch notes. That one could be considered looking at, but I'm not familiar enough with those damage numbers to know if it's going to be popular. Bone Shatter of Complex Trauma, I believe, is one that Bone Shatter players do like. I know there was a buff to Bone Shatter, but I don't believe that the patch notes specified about the Complex Trauma version. I think it was just base Bone Shatter. Cleave of Rage, maybe. Let's scroll down. Earth Shatter, people only play the base, so I wouldn't bother on that one. Exsanguinate of Transmission, I believe this is a meta version. Start out with regular Exsanguinate mines, and then I believe Exsanguinate of Transmission is also very popular, so that's a good one for red. Let's see, Groundstorm of Earthshaking was played before. I don't think people are going to go for it this league. Ice Crash of Cadence, I think I tend to see this actually like late in the league, so this might be something that like works well at high budget, but it's not one I would bother with early, but maybe keep them if you see it. And then Molten Strike of the Zenith, I don't know what Connor is playing. I know he's played this a lot. As far as I understand, it's still as powerful as it was last league, so I think some people are going to play it, but I don't think this is a big meta. Then we got Perforate. I don't think that's going to be played much this league. Rage Vortex of Berserking, maybe. I know people introduce Cyclone, and I believe this trans gem is actually used, but I'm not sure how much early on. Smite of Divine Judgment was not touched. It was popular last league, so I believe this would be a good one to hold on to also, or sell if the prices are good early on. Now the summon golems, you just kind of have to check the prices. I don't think any of these trans gems tend to be meta. I'm not going to read through them right now to try and guess, but just see the prices. If you get them, you can check trade, but I think the base ones tend to be more popular. And Tectonic Slam, Sunder of Earthbreaking, no, people just go for regular Sunder and they just level with it. And poor Volcanic Fissure of Snaking got neutered. It is now just a wandering snaking thing and no longer auto targets, so nobody's interested in it. Which is too bad, because I think it could still be fine, at least in enclosed areas. The minus 50% area AoE on it, when they nerfed it, just really also hurts it. Now, green gems, there are more green than red. However, this is what I'm planning on farming because, as I mentioned, Elemental Hit of the Spectrum is what Fubgun is playing, and if you want to get rich, target the Fubgun players, because there's a lot of them, and they play that, and the Pox players, so sell things for Righteous Fire and sell things for whatever Fubgun's playing. So going down the list, animate weapons, I'm not so sure these are actually used, but could be something to check out. I don't think those are good. Barrage of Volley Fire, I'm not sure. There was an update to Barrage, but I think it was just base Barrage. Then Blade Blast is the one that got changed. That's right. So keep an eye on the Blade Blast. I think they're worth holding on to. Blade Trap wasn't changed. No. These poor guys. blink arrow gems and the mirror arrow gems. I won't be surprised if like a couple people still play them, but they will definitely not be meta. They got the duration of the clones nerfed by down to a quarter of their original time, and I think also damage reduction, but certainly a quarter of the duration. So it's just harder to get the damage sustained with them, is my understanding. I never played it while it was around and in its prime and glory, and now I might not ever. Caustic Arrow of Poison, maybe. Burning Arrow of Vigor, people don't tend to play. That's like a life stack approach, but my understanding is it doesn't have the best potential. So Caustic Arrow, Poison, maybe. Cremation of Exhuming or Volcano. I think Volcano is the more used one. I'm not sure how much people use these trans cremation gems, but I know cremation itself is a common choice. Cyclone of Tumult, I'm not sure. I know Cyclone is used a lot. I'm not sure about the trans version. Detonate Dead of Chain Reaction is one that tends to be used, but I haven't heard anybody talking about Detonate Dead. So maybe mid-league that could be good, but that'd be a decent one to hold on to. Double Strike, no. Dual Strike of Ambidexterity, I've heard nobody talking about. People tend to just go Asunder these days. Hit of the Spectrum is your jackpot gem this league. At least in greens, I think that's the big one. Ethereal Knives, I don't know these are any good. Special mention to Econch of Destruction. I'm probably going to try this out late league. I'm actually going to be league starting Econch on Champion. But regular Econch. Not worrying about the fire damage, not worrying about Ignite. And then this version is used for going crit. So it could be something to look at, maybe as an assassin or something. But anyway, this is not going to be popular. So special mention because I'm interested in it, but I don't think it'll be good for selling. Explosive Trap, I don't believe so. Fire Trap of Blasting, yes, that's a good one. Flicker Strike of Power, I haven't really heard much about Flicker Strike. Maybe I'm blanking on his name, the streamer that always does it with the AI voice vids. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. I'm in his server, but yeah, it's there'll be the one guy. Thank you, Mage Fist. Yes, Mage Fist is probably going to do Flicker, not Flicker Strike of Power. This is a blue, this is an int build sort of thing. Anyway, Frenzy of Onslaught, maybe, definitely hold on to it. Or Frostblades of Catabasis, nobody loves you. The problem with Frostblades of Catabasis is that basically all the nodes on the tree for cold damage over time mention they have to be spells. So there's very few options for scaling the damage as much, and it scales a little differently, so it just doesn't have a way to shine anymore, which is too bad. So dump that. Galvanic Arrow, no. Ice Shot of Penetration. Arrow has a video out about this. Sorry, no. Ice Trap of Ice Shot of Penetration. Arrow has done videos on. That's AERO __. Or AER0 __, I think. Ice Trap of Hollowness is an ice trap gem. Both of these I think are potentially good. I know this one is used. Ice Trap of Hollowness I think is good for like bossing builds, so it could be a good one. And then Lacerate, I don't think anybody's doing. Lancing Steel of Spraying, definitely hold on to or try and sell, because this is used in Baylor Mage's, it's not his build, but Holy Relic of Conviction. Baylor Mage is the popular streamer that, or content creator that has the build guide out for it. He's like the resident expert. So this is one of the 2 trans gems that are used in that build, and I do recommend that as a starter build. It is really good. Lightning Arrow of Electrocution, I don't think so. Can check it out, but I believe people just use regular Lightning Arrow and then the Vol Lightning Arrow for single target. Lightning Strike, no, nobody's doing that. Again, Mirror Arrows are bad right now. Peaconk of Bouncing is your other jackpot in green, because Peaconk Slayer and Peaconk Pathfinder and Peaconk Assassin, those are all things that people are going to be looking at. So that's another really good one for sure. Puncture Arrow of Shanking just has a really great name, but it's not a common gem. Now, Rain of Arrows of, I think it's Saturation. Fires a bajillion arrows, fires less of a bajillion arrows. Area around it, half the arrows land directly on targets if they're in the range. So yeah, one of those two is used sometimes, so I would hold on to those, figure out which one it is. Reeve of Refraction, I've not heard people using. I only hear about regular Reeve. Now, Scourge Arrow of Menace, I think this is going to be popular again this league because the Assassin node that lets you, all your damage types poison, lets you go back to doing the triple elemental bow Scourge Arrow of Menace that was popular. I don't think it was Necropolis. It might have been Affliction League. There was something that let us do poison from elemental damage. I don't think it was just on this gem. I don't remember what it was. But something, probably like a league mechanic or something, allowed that to happen, and Scourge Arrow of Menace was really good. I think they've changed the gem since then, but I do believe it is still really strong. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on and hold on to. Seismic Trap, no. Shattering Steel, I don't think so. Shrapnel Ballista, maybe. Siege Ballista of Splintering, very possibly. I think I might have seen this name mentioned. Spectral Shield Throw of one of these two. I don't know how much the trans gem is used. Spectral Shield Throw builds are a thing. I just haven't seen it being mentioned so popular. Gladiator is not the most popular build right now, although it is fine. It's still super tanky and stuff. So I don't think these are particularly popular, but good one to keep an eye on. Not Splitting Arrow, Not Splitting Steel, Storm Rain. Now these, they might both be good. I don't remember which one is the common one, but one of these two I've definitely seen mentioned in a few places. So this is another good one to hold on to. I believe Ice Golem of Hordes might be good. There's one of these, something of the Hordes, I'm pretty sure. But as I mentioned before, the Summon Golems, I'm pretty sure are not especially popular. Tornado of Elemental Turbulence, this one I do believe is used, so keep an eye on that. It's not used a lot, but it is used. Tornado Shot of Cloudburst. I will admit, I know nothing about this. I don't know how this whole like payload into the air thing works. But Fubgun did mention Tornado Shot as like the other good way of leveling with bows. I believe he was saying, was it starting Lightning Arrow and then going into Ellie Hit of the Spectrum or Tornado Shot? I don't know if the Cloudburst version is any good. I don't think I've seen anybody mentioning it. I'm pretty sure you just go straight Tornado Shot, but I would say keep an eye on this as well. Toxic Rain, I don't think either of the trans gems are popular. You can check on that. Now, Viper Strike of the Mamba is going to be another popular one because Crouching Tuna just put out a guide. This is what he's league starting. And I know later on this gets really strong. I've heard of this many times as a very strong poison skill. And so this would be one I would say do keep an eye on, do keep and try and sell. Volatile Dead, I don't think people do. Wild Strike of Extremes, actually, I would hold on to this. I think this is more like a late league, high budget build sort of setup that can be really, really strong. But I don't hear many builds, but you know, if you hold on to them. So what I would say, all these gems that I'm saying, like, you know, hold on to them because they might be good later on. What you could do is take them and if you have random 20 gems, you could like level these in your offhand and then try and vol them to 21 to sell. That's just an option, or just hold on to them at level 1. Just, you know, something to keep an eye on. Now moving on to blue gems. Arc of Oscillating, was it? I think sometimes is used. I'm not sure. I don't think it's particularly popular for this league. But I believe it's Oscillating is one that is used. Armageddon Brand of Recall, I know I've seen mentioned. I don't think Volatility. Now, Ball Lightning of Orbiting, I do believe this is popular right now. I think it's done in like totems and is really, really strong. I don't think the static version is, but don't just dump it. Check the price on that one. Bane of Condemnation, no. Blight, no. Blight of Contagion, I believe is good. Okay, Ball Lightning of Orbiting, not on totems, just from Uberdan and Exile. Okay, sounds good, thank you. Body Swap of Sacrifice, I have seen used I have seen mentioned, so hold on to that one. Cold Snap of Power is used. If anyone's going cold dot builds, I believe that is the way, that's like the better Cold Snap. Or maybe it's just like a late game version, but that is one to hold on to. Contagion of Transference. I want to say I've heard about this one somewhere, so don't just dump this one. Check that also. Cracking, I believe it's Crackling Lance of Disintegration is the one that does get used. I think Connor might have built around this a league or two ago. Discharge of Misery, same thing. I'm sure that I've heard of people using that one. And Divine Ire is more niche. Most people don't use it, but there are people that like to play with this. I believe Divine Ire is the Kamehameha skill. It's like you just shoot a large beam, like when you're in the Innocence fight, and he does his shooting beam, and he'll turn around trying to hit you with, and you just have to die, just walk around him. That like big Kamehameha beam, that's Divine Ire. So one of these ones, I think it's Disintegration, but it might be Holding Lightning. I'm not sure. So check into those. They might get popular at some point. Essence Drain, I don't think either of these are used. I have Winter of Transience, I believe, is one that people use, not Finality. You can check Finality, but I know people use regular Eye of Winter. I believe they also use Transience. Firestorm. Firestorm of Meteors is, I believe, the one that my big Ignite junkie friend was saying is more there. Pelting, I don't think was such a thing. One of them, I'm pretty sure it's Firestorm of Meteors gets some use. Flame Dash and Return, I don't think so. I think people just use regular. Yeah, Flame Surge, I don't think the Flame Surge of Combusting is used, but check on that one. I'm pretty sure people just use base Flame Surge. Flame Blast of Celerity. Oops, sorry, that's timer. Flame Blast of Celerity. This, I have a friend who only plays Ignite every league since he started POE, and he always does Flame Blast of Celerity, and he does this tech, and he has told me that this is the strongest Ignite in the game that can be done. Sorry, no, not Celerity. Sorry, Flame Blast of Contraction. But they can both be held on to. Not a lot of people do it, but he's explained multiple times how this is like the strongest Ignite. It's the same skill that he plays every time. So I know it can be good. If you can make one that's a 21-23, or even just a 21-20 Vol Flame Blast of Contraction, he would probably buy that off you. Actually, I'm sure he would, because he does not like to farm lab. And it took him one time like 26 tries to hit, I think, 21-20 on Vol Flame Blast of Contraction. Now, Forbidden Rite of Soul Sacrifice, yes, another jackpot gem. The gem itself was not changed, I believe. So this is still just as strong as it is. What was changed is the flat energy shield on the item that enables this to work as a meta skill. It will now be a little less tanky, which for the high-end people, that won't matter. For the lower end, it'll be a little harder to get started on just running anything in all the super tanky stuff, or super rippy maps. But this will be used for sure. This will be a strong one again. Frost Bomb, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure nobody uses it. Frost Blink of Wintry Blast, I always see bought. Probably because when you're scaling cast speed, this allows you to Frost Blink a lot faster. So definitely a good one. Glacial Cascade of the Fisher. I'm not sure if the Trans Gem is good. Glacial Cascade, I know. I have a friend who's doing a starter version of this, and it's a really good starter as well. I'm not sure if the Trans Gem is actually good, so you'll have to check the prices on that. Hex Blast, no, I'm pretty sure nobody's playing Hex Blast anymore after the nerfs that they did. Ice Nova, same thing. Ice Nova Frostbolt is not... it might be like a few chaos as opposed to one chaos. It still functions, just nowhere near as good. But yeah, you can try it. Might be a few chaos. Ice Spear of Splitting, I don't think so. There's a gem, I don't remember. I think it's Ice Spear, not Ice Lance or something, that is used in cast on crit stuff. And I don't think this Trans Gem is used. I'm pretty sure it's just regular Ice Spear. Icicle Mines, I'm not sure. I don't think so. Incinerative Expanse, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Incinerative Expanse. some people will occasionally play with for a really strong build, but I'm not so sure. Either way, it's not a very popular one. Kinetic Blast of Clustering, Kinetic Bolt of Fragmentation. Both are jackpot gems. It's wand season. It's wand league. It's a wander league. Almost everybody's starting wanders except the hardcore melee people that are starting the going on Sunder to whatever they're doing. And fools like myself holding on to glory of past gems. But Kinetic Blast of Clustering will be used. I think it won't be used quite as much during the first week. Although it was just buffed in the second round of patch notes, so it's possible people will pay more attention to it early on. Personally, I do actually recommend this. With the rune graft that gives +1 projectile, but you can only fire 1 projectile at a time, that does not matter for Kinetic Blast. It's only upsides for Kinetic Blast of Clustering. And it lets you, it's a really good filler until you get Awakened Fork, because it gives you Fork on that rune graft, which saves you a gem. So you can think of it as number 1, +1 chain, which happens after the forking. So this is going to be even more cluster and overlaps. And number 2, it gives you an extra gem, which you can get another 30% multiplier or whatever. So yeah, big damage rune graft with that. So Kinetic Blast of Clustering, if I were doing wands, I'd probably be really tempted to do this. I haven't played it yet. I wanted to. My little quick side note, I was almost famous. Before everyone was playing around with clustering and everyone was saying it's a bad skill and because they all go around it, you can only hit with the one proj, it's not good. And I was sitting there trying to play with it and trying to figure out how to make it work for a week or two. And I got 75% of it. And I was like, okay, no. My issue was I just didn't have enough game knowledge or wand and range character knowledge. So when Palsteron put out the vid about using the tornado tech, that was the last piece that I was missing. For that, all the other stuff about it, I'd figured that stuff out, doing totems, doing Hierophant and all that. But I'd missed the last piece, so I missed my chance to be famous. That was almost me. Anyway, good gem to sell. Lightning Conduit, I want to say I've heard something about that, but I don't think it's a meta one. Lightning Spire, Lightning Trap, no. Lightning Tendrils, there is something here. I don't remember which one, and I think that the trans gem is used. I don't think it's just the base gem. So check into those. Penance Brand Conduction, no, but Penance Brand of Dissipation, yes. Untouched, still a strong gem. This is going to be popular. This is a really, really good bossing build, and it's very high budget. So if you can get these, if you can hit a 2120 on this, you're in luck. You will, I can't see it. There we go. Now I can see the quality on it. Yeah, more damage on the quality. Holy moly. Yeah, really good one. Power Siphon of the Archmage, another one. Very good use. I've seen many mentions of that as being a good starter, so that's going to be a good one. I want to say Purifying Flame of Revelations does get some use, not a lot, but I believe some. And Pyroclast of Sabotage, I think as well, not very meta, but probably a few chaos. Raised Spectre of Transience, I'm almost sure is bad. The transience makes it very temporary, and especially because the changes to specters, people are just going to use their own regular specters that they would normally. Raise Zombie of Falling, Raise Zombie of Slamming, no to either one. I believe the slamming one is the one that people go for when they want to build a zombie father build, but that is not going to be a main meta, so these won't be very good. Righteous Fire of Arcane Devotion, I'm not sure. Ask Pox. Scorching Ray of Immolation, this might be the one that I was thinking of as something that Connor built around. It's not a big meta one, might be a few chaos. Soul Rend of Reaping, I think it's of Reaping is one that I've seen mentioned, so again, might be a few chaos. Spark of the Nova, I believe is the spark that people do sometimes build around, but that is much later on, I think. I think this is a high budget thing. So good to hold on to and check out, but I don't think it's big meta, not unpredictability. Stormbrand, of Indecision, maybe. Check into that one. It's not just an instant write-off. No, and Summon Carrion Golems, I didn't see getting any use when I looked at them last league. Now Chaos Golem, yeah, I don't think the trans gems of the golems do get use. Summon Holy Relic of Conviction, another good one to sell. Very good. Now Summon Raging Spirit of Enormity. This one, honestly, like I wanted to build around this in the Gauntlet, but this is a good one to keep an eye on. This is a very good usable skill because they always crit, and they have a high crit multi, so probably going to be worth a little bit, but it is not one of the like meta builds, so it won't be very expensive. And the Summon Reapers, I don't think so. Summon Skeleton Archers, yeah. So the various summons like these, I would keep an eye on. I don't know what's popular with Zoomancers. I don't like anything that says you can't have other minions is going to be bad, but like max 1 Reaper, okay, fine. So like keep an eye on those because Zoomancers might want them. I'm pretty sure Skeleton Mages is used. As long as nothing says that you can't have other stuff, you're fine. Void Sphere of Rending does get some use, but it's not meta. And Vortex of Projection was really good last league, but they changed it now where it cannot... So here the last line says can explode from up to 5 crossbolt projectiles. They made some change where it can no longer explode from ones that already exploded or something like that. So it very much nerfed the damage projection side of the gem. So that is no longer going to be meta. Then finally, as I mentioned, the new meta gem, it's not Storm Rain, what is it? Kinetic Rain? Something like that. Oh, where do I have the patch notes? I don't know where I put the oh, here we go. Let me move those on screen for you. Find kinetic. Okay, Kinetic Rain. Yeah, so Transfigured Gem, Kinetic Rain of Impact. So this one, this is an intelligence gem, so this is another blue gem. I think this is large area in front of directly locating the target's enemy. The location where each projectile will land are shown with the marker before they fall. Each proj explodes when hitting the ground, dealing area damage. This was different from the regular one in that the regular one says that you cannot use it with traps, mines, or totems. This one doesn't, which means this one is very much better. I don't know what the damage numbers are going to be like how much the damage effectiveness or other things like that are going to be changed, but all else equal, this is very good because then you can have just tons more projectiles going because your totems are going to be doing, or you do it from mines, and that's going to be great. So I'm betting that this is going to be a very popular gem. So definitely keep an eye out for that one. All right, I think that's it for the video. Good luck on your league starts. If I have time, I'm going to try and do another video about like how I'm league starting. As I mentioned, my plan is econk, doing lab farming and or heist farming when I'm bored of it, and see if there's anything else that my build ADD or gaming ADD takes me to. Thanks so much everyone for hanging out with the video, and catch you guys in 3.27.